This is WWJDTD1, JCT10 in Minecraft, bringing to you a video about pistons and their uses, and a little bit more about redstone. If you haven't noticed already, I am a redstone mechanic. I love redstone. Can't get enough of it. So, some of this has been found on the Minecraft wiki, and more places even at that. So this is just going into a video so that then everything can be shown properly, and B is going to be shown. I want to keep most of this stuff in. I'll get rid of the map for the time being. It's going to show multiple stuff, but mainly is about pistons. So, starting off, we need this is a if you've ever wanted to make two switches for one light switch, this would be a piston contraption for you. What you do is you have a there are two versions of this. This one is the RS0, I do believe. I'm not sure if I'm using the correct term. What happens is when the two inputs are equal, it's on. I just have two redstone switches. When they are not equal, it's off. So if I hit that switch, off, on, off, on, off. So basically that's all that this does. However, it is much smaller than any RS0 or RS9. If you want RS9, you just place the redstone clutch there, and then it becomes the RS9. By the way, you must quickly pulse it with that recever to work, because that repairs automatically. So this one is a memory latch. What happens is this one is a set bit. You go and either have it on or off. So starting off on, and then you have this one. You just hit the button, and it resets. Otherwise, you can have it off, which would push it. This is the smallest way of doing it, so it's impossible to get any smaller. But surprisingly, it stays in this position. I have no clue why. But then it will go back out. So that's just the super small way of doing it. I'm not going to go over the... well, you know, why not? Okay, so basically the RS0 is just two pistons like this and a block in between, and you just hit two buttons, and you have one output. And I'm gonna fly to this one if I can, and not have. So these are both supposed to be buttons, so you can have them as switches. So now it's on. And that's all. So that's just that one. It's not that interesting. Now, this one is a interesting contraption that I never knew existed. This is button only RS0 switch. It can even decide. It's basically a flip flop. When you hit the button, it goes one way. You hit it again, it goes. When you hit the button, it's on. Then off, then on, then off, then on, then off, then on, then off, as many times as you want. So first off, this one is reset, making it to the state of on. This one is set, making it to the state of off. Reset, on again. And then this one is toggle. Then that one's off. And it's on again. So that's just a very simple one. You need a lever or something here, so then it goes over. You can that way. I'm gonna explain how these work very quickly. I should have done that first. This one basically works. Well, I don't know actually how the piston mechanics work, but this is a sticky piston. Okay. This is a sticky piston. No, I want you going down. It's a sticky piston, and for some reason it will hold the state no matter what you do. So like that will hold the state for some reason. Unknown why, but still. Then over here, the piston head cannot transmit redstone current, so if you have that off, it goes through. If you turn that on, it moves. It doesn't move through there, so it doesn't go on. And then that's just an inverter, so then you can have either that one or that one on at a time. So continuing, over here you have a when it's off, when the redstone wire is on, you have 2 blocks over here. It has to be 2 blocks. You cannot get that down to one block. You have a 1 tick delay going to this block and a 1 tick delay going to this block. That way you can press it from this button. There's this button, and then you have a switch that moves the redstone wire, and so then it does not go into this block. This is here only because then this doesn't get powered. If you're fine with that getting powered, like you have a one-way redstone, you can actually move this up again like this, and then that will still work. So, but as you can see, it goes across, so it's a little bit less stable. It may not work, but it should. So continuing, when you hit this button over here, then it covers up the switch, which makes it go straight out into the block, which will activate the block a second before, well, excuse me, 1 tick before the other block. So then, when you hit it again, it's over. So that's how that one works. This one is a multiplexer. It's a brilliant design, again, not by me, but could have very well been. What happens is you basically choose an input. So right here I've got 2 inputs on, 2 off. You can only get 1 on going through here at a time because of how I set it up. So this one just chooses between, I'll say A, B, the C, and the CD. It switches CD and AB. So if you will watch the 2 wires coming out, this one and this one, you've got on and off, on off, on off, on off. So those 2 will just keep on switching. And then right here, this one will switch in between on off and on off. So this one doesn't, as far as I can tell, have much practical use. I mean, you can probably use it in a redstone computer, but not many of us do redstone computing, okay, and I know that. Not many of us are redstone geniuses, so not many of us have the capability of doing a redstone computer. But I have found this to be a practical use for it. You can have for stations, for let's say you're on a server, okay, and you don't want your this is because my custom texture pack that has all of the simple stuff doesn't support the item block. Okay, let's say you're on a Minecraft server and you don't want them to know your plants. You don't want the opponent to know your plants. Oh, first, basically the block stops allowing the redstone to go through, and then it just switches in between the two wires. And you can even switch these, okay, in the Octopus Switch. So let's say you have two teams. You don't want your opponent team to accidentally hear your plans for attacking their base. So you need to send a secret message so that you can have a organized assault. But you have multiple bases. So you can send out a message on one band. Everyone has access to one band, and then have their private band. So let's say you have 4 bases. Okay, so you have public band, private. You have one multiplexer for your transmitter. So then you can transmit either on the public. Excuse me, you have one anti-multiplexer. That's just basically inputting over here and outputting on either this one or this one. You have one anti-multiplexer for your transmitter, one of them being your public and one of them being your private bands. And then, excuse me, one of them being your public and one of them being your dedicated band. And then you've got one of these 4-to-1 multiplexers for your input, for your decoder station. Then you can read from your public, from the public, and then station 2. Excuse me, I mean frequency 2, frequency 3, and frequency 4. So basically what this does is just switch in between the channels, so then you can listen to the different people who are transmitting. Now, for that, I made a very, very, very simple transmitting station with just 2 buttons, a short and a long. This should be dot and dash, but I do not feel like doing that. And then I've got a receiver that does short and long. However, due to the decoding system that I have, you cannot send out bits too quickly. So I have set up a way of countering that. When these lights go back on, you can transmit. Now, of course, you can only transmit one button at a time. Then they go off while it's transmitting. It doesn't take too long to transmit. It's the receiving end that takes a long time to receive and decode. And then, when they go back on, you can transmit again. Now, also, considering that your bases won't be aired over, excuse me, considering that you won't have a transmitter over here and a receiver over here, you're going to have plenty of repeaters. You're going to have to account for that. And then the other thing is, you have to have some sort of plugin or mod that will keep everything loaded, or redstone loaded, or something like that loaded. Maybe there is a plugin that will keep storage clamps loaded, so you can actually just place storage clamps all the way down it, but that's costly in iron. So whatever you choose to do, you must keep the chunks loaded, or else then the redstone won't work. But basically you just hit the button, let's say short. Now for this, if you want them to be the same short and long on short on the left and long on the right, you just need to flip one of these. It's very simple. You can even get rid of these if you're if you remember that you have to transmit slower. And then you give everyone on every team a map. Each map has a Morse code key, as you can see, which is a very simple key, I do have to say that. It's just difficult to put onto a map. I can put up a download for the map or the image. I took the original image, and I'm sorry for that up there if you look. I'm sorry about that. I did not mean to do that. I will probably have to fix that soon. But I took a image off of Wikipedia and I just had to totally convert it. And I originally did not mean for these two colors. I just ended up having those two colors. So let's say we want to send E. E is a select pulse only. So you hit select, lights go off, select pulses on that side. Again, this one is select, this one is wrong. So select pulses and lights go back on. Let's watch this again. And then the lights are back on after the pulse is done. Long, on the other hand, they go off at the same time. Now if you hit it too quickly, it will pulse on select, which is a bug due to the way that I decode it. I know there's probably a much better way to pull out this decoder, but I couldn't figure out any. This is a AND gate hooked up to a repeat to the same input, except that one side has a repeater, so both of them have to be on, which means that it would be a long pulse. You would just adjust this to be fine-tuned, and then it goes in here, and then it will pulse this piston, which will turn on the light, basically allowing redstone charge through, and then go through these and then turn it back off. So in effect, you're turning on the redstone and then you're turning it back off. And this over here is just an inverter hooked up to this. On the other side, now the reason for this is because you have to have a delay. Because of course you've got a delay over here, you're basically using the same thing. I tried the inverse of this, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I just ended up just cutting out the redstone if this one pulses, because this one will still pulse. I just cut off the redstone, and then you get only long. But sadly, it doesn't like the quick pulses. So that's the reason for the timeout. And now to explain how this side goes, the transmitter. Now, because I want the transmitter to be correctly tuned, this one just makes sure that it's 1 whole second. No, excuse me, this is 2 ticks short of a second, I do believe. Because it's 6 seconds within Minecraft single player, and so this is, 6 ticks. But this one takes out this one takes out 2 ticks, so it's 2 ticks short of a second. And this one is just like the other one over there, except that it is on the transmitting module. And then up here, because you see the 2 buttons are in here, I'm not sure if you have to have the switches. I can probably try just now without them, but I think you do. The switches just redirect the redstone, you leave them off. Okay, no, you don't need them. Okay, well, I would still, for simplicity's sake, that just kind of shows where the redstone is coming from. But if you don't want that, you can just leave it without that, whatever. But please note that if you do have them, you do not turn them on, because that will basically force on the transmitter. And if the transmitter is turned on for too long, you have to go in and manually reset it, which is a bug, but I kind of hastily slapped this one together, and if you're on a Blur server, you're going to be hastily slapping it together too. But then again, you could just use search Minecraft and type out the messages in there, or better yet, just say it in chat. But if you're using a mod like Flan's gun mod, you can't say it in chat because there's only one chat group, and that kinda doesn't work out when you're trying to do a sneak attack. But oh, and by the way, if anyone knows of any real server that has multiple people, please tell me. Excuse me, that has times when it is very packed. I used to be on one, but then that one kind of fell apart, and it's seriously gone now. But then, okay, so let me continue on this because I'm griping too long. So basically this one just makes sure that it's the right tip. I already went over this. Oh yes, and this one just equals it out. Okay, so going upstairs, you've got these redstone repeaters. They just take the input from the buttons and transmit it out through and into these. They are there so that these don't connect up to any redstone, because if you have everything going off the same one, you're not gonna have redstone whatchamacallit. This one is just another one of those earthenware latches that is timed. This is basically a signal lengthener. It lengthens the on-off signal. Now, these over here, I'm not sure if I added a delay to them or not. I'm gonna have to quickly check. Any delays that I added is yes, these both have full delay, so, and then these have one shred of full delay and one shred of full delay, and then another one shred of full delay. I can probably get rid of this one so then they activate at the same time, but it doesn't. Oh, that's why I picked them there. That's right. But it doesn't really matter because that's just the other GUI, graphic user interface. So that's the basics up there of that. The only one thing that I would be careful of if you were to use this is again the bug with the there's several bugs with the receiving unit, which is the A, doing it too quickly, and B, the too long of a pulse. But if you want longer pulses, you just put them on this, and that's basically it for these. If you are going to be doing this again, you still need to be careful, because even if you were to do this, oh, and by the way, Redwire is great. Redwire is a SMP compatible plugin that allows for redstone wire that looks kind of like this, that doesn't require the repeater, so it's basically instant wire, but it still doesn't load up. I might want to suggest that to them. In fact, if you do see this, please, I seem to be doing a lot of these shoutouts now. If you do see this, please fix that, where it doesn't continue to load up even if it's out of view. Now, continuing, even if you do this, your opponent can still see the on-off sequence. Your opponent can still read that sequence. It's just that they don't have the decoder there. Now, if they do set up a bug, a wireless redstone is another good mod for this, because of course it's wireless. But if they do get onto your frequency, if they do bug you, if they get onto your frequency with redstone wire, they tap into your wire and make a hidden underground wire that goes out to their base. In both cases, you're in a pretty bad shape, because you can't just go and you're probably going to be using the simple Morse code key. So if you don't want them just to go out and know all of your plans, I would recommend using a different key than Morse code. make up your own key, but that's just me. The other thing is that I'm gonna do a quick shout out for this. It's a item conveyor, but it's an item player conveyor. What happens is the cake, there are fence posts and regular blocks underneath the cake, but fence posts are slightly higher, so it allows the items to move upon it. An idea that I had that I tested and it actually works is, starting off, let me start this up. It lags me a bit. And what happened? Oh no, that's just my switch. I need to actually hit the button over here. Again, if you haven't seen this before, this send out just very quick. You have this as 3 delay, and then you have this. You have this go around and it goes into that, and that keeps it off unless you hit it. It gives a short 1 tick pulse. So if you have ever seen this, there are several people who have come up with the idea. If you take, I'm just going to shift click and give myself 60 glowstone. If you take this and you throw it in, they move, of course. Oh, that's right. If you hit them in the wrong spot, they are jam up. You should try to hit them in the middle, by the way. I've noticed that bug, but it's mainly when I am recording, which is normal because everyone knows computers hate when they're being recorded. They can actually filter moving blocks, so if you just leave a block open, you can actually filter out moving blocks and entities, because an entity can actually filter through, as I will soon show, if I can get out of this hole. Good. Okay, so now I can show how an entity can filter through here. And of course it hates me flying, so, and then this is just so then I can stop the massive lag without actually breaking the circuit. I just hate massive lag, and it's kinda understandable. So this is just my texture pack testing. This is a similar design just with an elevator, and using fence gates, which is a brilliant idea. Again, I've seen the same person do this. I'm just kind of copying it. No offense to him, but this was a brilliant idea. But again, I'm showing off how you can make it a little bit better. How you can modify it, so then it is a little bit better. Now this one has a nice little feature that I added in, which is you can actually see the redstone moving. And then over here you just double hit that. Oh, that's because I've got this right here. And as you can see, it moves so fast that by the time I hit it, it was gone. So that's how fast a 1 tick goes. Now, this one is again his faster design. You can actually see the pulse going up. But you have to be very careful because that is a very slow. Because if you do that too fast, it will actually jam. But I have a very simple answer to that. And one of these days, when the server gets back up, because it's recently been down, I will show you my very small design of a ultra fast staircase. It's like 3 times faster than that. Original designs were made by different people, but I like to modify things personally, because whenever I end up modifying it, I make it a little bit differently. So here we have a standard little redstone, atypical, I have no other word for that, redstone elevator, basically. So the difference with this redstone elevator compared to others is that this one has like thousands of the delay, because it uses the redstone repeaters instead of redstone itself. So this one, however, does require quite a few more blocks and quite a bit more redstone. However, it is, as I said, faster, way faster. But basically what you do is you place repeater down. Okay, I'm gonna explain this while I'm using it, just so then I can explain it. So what happens is when you turn it on, the repeater powers up this block, which powers this piece of redstone, which is supposed to. Let me see if I. Okay, why in the world is this happening? Well, what happens when you're on SMP at least is the power goes up and through and then goes in there and then it goes through. It powers up this block. Let me see if I can actually change this. Let me start out by, okay, yeah, I had thought about this and then I was going to do it. Yeah, so, oh no, this one was for the downwards. Okay, upwards is different, but, upwards is different, but this one you can use to go down with a clock. You just have to reverse everything and then it goes downwards. This won't go upwards apparently. The upwards, you do this. You place down the repeater. Place down that, and then you just basically place down a block up there. Hopefully this will work and I won't look like a doofus, but basically this is what you do. Now, so that's basically what you do. That powers up that block and then that goes up. It's just very difficult to do that going down, because you have to power it up in reverse, so I just ended up making this. I can actually show it in reverse if I go and actually do it, but again it only works going down apparently for some odd reason, which is odd. Oh no. Oh wait, yeah, I totally messed that up, didn't I? Yeah, and you're probably already yelling at me. The other thing that you can add on delay to this, which is something you can have precise delay, excuse me, on this, which is something that you don't normally get in these designs. So it goes in. Let's see how quickly I can rebuild my design from being a failure to being a... Yeah, again, my computer lags like this mainly when I am... How in the world? I was right-clicking! Oh, and VoxelBox, I'm going to end up sending this video in. Hopefully they will take the designs. Well, if someone from VoxelBox sees this, can you please tell me if my kind of creations are the kind of creations that would get me in. Again, this one goes down, this one goes up. So, and also compared to the other ones, this one has 2 tick delay. A standard redstone clutch has a 2 tick delay, I do believe. But again, you can only get it every other line. This one you can actually get it every line. You can also modify the ticks on these to make it very precise, and it's a little bit longer, just the same length. It's basically the same thing. So if you like my video, please comment, rate, subscribe, and most importantly, share. Please share my video. The more people I have, the more of a chance I get to becoming a YouTube partner, which would give me extra things that I can do in my videos. For instance, also it would probably make me able to show up on more channels, get a wider audience, and be able to show it to more people. If you don't like my video, it's even more important that you share, so then I can know what in the world I did wrong, or what you didn't like, because if you don't like something, I can probably help with that. And no, I'm not gonna come over and kill you. I'm just going to come over and ask you what in the world I did wrong. Again, redstone goes through Piston head. But there's also magic redstone that appears and disappears right here. As you can see over here. Magic redstone. So, if you like my video, or you didn't like my video, please comment, rate, and subscribe, so then I know, so then I can fix it. Do more of it. And if you want something on my channel, because I can probably do quite a few games on my channel as well, please tell me that too. And I'm going on too long with that, aren't I? Yeah, I already know that I go on too long on one subject. Yeah, I should probably stop at that too. Well, I'll see you later. This video was created, let me check my system clock, at 9:36 p.m. 11/2/2011 in Pacific Standard Time. So let's see how quickly I can get this video up. And this video is how long according to that? Whoa. Okay, this is WWJDTD leaving.